We're here in the press room at the World Chess Championships here in London. As you can see, there's enormous interest. There are journalists here from all over the world who have gathered for the final 3 games of this contest. Up till now, all square. But things could be happening in the 10th game. Caruana has white. And he certainly looked the most relaxed after the last game. So how hard is he going to push it? It seems very hard. He was ready to take on Carlsen's Sicilian Sveshnikov again and introduced an aggressive new idea on move 12. Carlsen had to fight fire with fire by advancing his pawns to attack Caruana's king. The position was absolutely wild, with pieces scattered all over the board. The world champion came up with a sensational pawn sacrifice that looked like it was going to tip the game in his favour. But the challenger declined, defended prudently, and stabilised the position. A complicated endgame resulted, which finally burnt out to a draw after 5.5 hours play. A fantastic performance from both players. The chess was of the highest standard. What's your take on this game? How did you see it as a whole?
Yeah, it's the type of game I expected from this line. I mean, it's very, very double-edged. Both sides are taking risks. Black takes some very clear risks because he's going for an attack, so he's sort of going all in. And of course, I'm getting attacked, so I could potentially get mated.
Yeah.
And yeah, but at some point, I really did feel like I would have an advantage.
It's a beautiful concept. It's absolutely.
Yeah, I thought for so long, and I wasn't sure about it, but I thought I just go for it, and up the stakes even more. Like okay, either you win the game or you get mated. So.
This was a game of such enormous complexity, I hardly know where to start. It's very difficult to pick out just one key moment from the game, but, well, I've decided on this position. Magnus Carlsen with black to play here, and it looks like he's making fantastic progress with these pawns. But actually, the rook on a3 defends along the 3rd rank. And black doesn't quite have the connection with his other pieces to join in the kingside attack. And here Magnus played a fantastic idea, and that was pawn to b5. Now, white can't really entertain moving the knight back. I mean, the crucial thing here is what happens if this pawn is taken en passant, like this. Seems crazy to give white this strong passed pawn on the 6th rank. But here's the idea. Black exchanges off white's rook. So that white rook was defending along the 3rd rank. So that's gone. That knight has been taken out of the centre. So now this knight can come in here. Then black would sacrifice a 2nd pawn. This didn't happen, but this is what would have happened if that pawn had been taken. So we sacrifice a 2nd pawn. Obviously, mate threatens, bishop threatens, so we have to play bishop takes pawn. And now the knight moves in. That's why the knight had to be deflected. So this knight finds this beautiful central square, attacks the bishop. Bishop comes back. So what's black got for his 2 pawns? Well, a fantastic attack. And now a simple move. The queen just edges to the side and sets up for an attack on h2. And this bishop is just way offside. You know, we need the bishop back here, but it's obviously just offside on the queen side. This pawn isn't going anywhere because the bishop controls this square. The knight is way out of play. And then black threatens moves like knight here, or possibly bishop here to here, and black's attack is just too strong. But Fabiano appreciated how strong that would have been, and he declined to take that pawn. So let me just go way back. this position. That's the position we had. So pawn to b5, and here, very prudently, Fabiano played the knight in, exchanging off this dangerous knight, and of course keeping that rook on the third rank, defending across to the king side. And then, well, I mean, the position was still fantastically complicated, but the danger had passed for white. Black's attack wasn't so serious. I mean, the level of play in this game was so high. There were no real blunders in spite of, you know, such a complicated game. So the players are playing very, very well, but unfortunately they're cancelling each other out, and the result of the game was a draw again. So 2 games to go, but on the basis of this game, it's looking very nervy.